Okay. Wait, hold on.
Sexy.
I know. That should. Well, hello there, and thank you for being with us. Welcome to Lou and La, a full cup with Lou and La. I am Lou, and this is La. This here, there, wherever she is, she's here.
I'm here.
That's us. And today we are talking about my favorite show, which is Avatar: The Last Airbender, the series, not the movie. Let's get that straight. Lord, okay, so you want to hear something really funny?
Yeah.
I actually saw the movie before I watched the show.
Ooh, that hurts. That hurts.
So when I saw the movie, I actually saw it with my ex, and he was really into he was a martial artist, and he was into anime and Japanese stuff and stuff like that. So he took me to take this movie, and he was super excited for it. He was like, "This is gonna be great." I'm like, okay. I didn't care about it. I didn't want to go see it. So I'm like, I'll just go, whatever. I ended up loving the movie, right? I loved it because I thought it was a really good concept for like a movie. I was like, this is really cool.
Especially since you didn't have like a base reference. So
I didn't know anything about it.
If you don't know anything about Avatar: Last Airbender, I think part of you would be like, yo, this movie crazy. It's kind of dope. Like, yeah, I can see that.
That's exactly how it was. I was like, that's dope as hell. I was like, and he was like, no. He was like, that was horrible. And I'm going to show you the show. I was like, I don't know if I really want to watch the show. I was like, I'm good with the movie. And then he was like, no. so I watched the show. Instantly loved the show. I've probably seen the whole series maybe 10 times. The whole thing, beginning to end. I mean, a few days in between. But yeah, I've probably seen it 10. I love that show.
But I really liked Last Airbender because one, it's Nickelodeon, and I've been a Nickelodeon kid since Nickelodeon was a thing. Plus, it was like smart, and funny, and it gave me a different take on a different culture that we don't really get to see in like Western, like cinema, Western animation, all that type of stuff. Like, companies are getting better at it, like Disney and all these companies are getting better at putting like Asians now in the forefront, which is why she Black or Asian? Like that's her name. Putting Asians in the forefront, and it's like this one was great because it was like everybody was Asian. Like there's no mishaps. Now some might look a little lighter, a little browner, a little bit more Western, maybe not as like typical Asian, because people expect you, if you Asian, you gotta have eyes where you can't see, and you gotta know kung fu. Like, it's so stereotypical. Like, it's so stereotypical Asian. It's like, yo, relax. And it was just hitting all different cultures. I love The Last Airbender. The movie was trash.
I mean, now that I've
seen it in reverse. The movie. I've watched the show, then watched. I was so excited for this movie, right? Now, when they told me who the director was, I'm going to be honest. I was like, "Ooh, that could go one or two ways."
Me too. I was like, "Are you sure?" Like, that's a hit or miss.
It's because
it's M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong. Just in case anyone didn't know who it was.
It could go one or two ways. It could either be like a Sixth Sense moment. You feel me? Where it's like, "Ooh, this is great." Or it could be like The Happening, because that one wasn't.
Wait! I knew you was gonna say The Happening. Wait a minute. No, see, you gotta stop disrespecting The Happening, man.
All right.
Because it be happening.
I like the classic ones. Like, if we gonna just partake on the M. Night Shyamalan talk real quick, he is hit or miss for me. Like, if off the top of my head, Sixth Sense and Signs are like the two films of him those two. But then I'm like in a league by myself because I enjoy the Israel 177 films, and that's Unbreakable, Split, and Glass.
I
Right?
actually enjoy those too. So
I like all three of those. And people be like, Split was great, but Unbreakable? Glass was a letdown. No, it wasn't. Like, it just wasn't what you wanted to see as a superhero
I
film.
haven't watched Glass yet. We own it, but I haven't watched it.
Please watch it.
But I'm just not ready yet.
No, I get you. Because I still haven't watched Les Mis, and I own it. But I love musicals, but I haven't watched Les Mis yet, and I own it.
We can definitely have a sing off right now.
Let's go.
We're not going to though because we're talking about Avatar.
Exactly. Yes.
But yeah, like his movies, they're very hit or miss for me.
Yeah.
Like, but I did enjoy The Happening, not necessarily the movie, more so the concept. Like,
okay.
I like the concept of the movie because it's actually really fucking scary if you think about it. Like, if the plants turns on us, that's really scary. And it's sort of like it's a pandemic. It's like this again. You know what I'm saying? So that's really scary to me, at least, because all of this is kind of scary. But
I get what you're saying.
It's and then it also makes you think like you gotta be high for it. I don't know. I'm just always
honestly
high,
there are some movies, okay, that if you do a little puff pass, they turn out way better.
Like The Happening.
Then you expect it, like and like New Mutants. This is no shade to New Mutants, but maybe it is. I got really high one day and decided to watch New Mutants, and I was like, "Oh, this ain't as bad as everybody thought." This ain't bad.
That's why you said it wasn't that bad. Everybody else in the chat was like,
yeah,
it wasn't that bad.
It wasn't that bad. Just, get a little tree in your system and check it out. But back to Avatar, The Last Airbender animation. I mean, it was a good show, and I like the fact that you can see the transition in animation. Like, if you watch the first episode of Last Airbender, which I think is titled The Boy in the Iceberg, like if you watch that one, right, and you go like 10 episodes in, you could tell the difference that they cleaned up the animation style, started getting a little more crispier. I was like, okay, they got a budget. That pilot must have been just like a little like little throwaway money. Nickelodeon was like, got some change, make this.
Yeah, because the second episode even looks a little bit different. Yeah, for sure. But what I enjoyed about it was, and I noticed it again yesterday because I was watching it. And that's one of my shows that I go to sleep to. I have a few shows that I go to sleep to.
I respect that.
And that's one of them, just because I've already seen it. So
you don't have to like pay attention to it.
Exactly.
I do that with Friends. Friends is like my go to sleep show. I can just push play and I can enjoy the episodes while I'm watching it, and I can go to sleep not worried that I'm gonna miss something.
That you're gonna miss something. Exactly. And actually, when I'm done with Attack on Titan, that's gonna be a show I go to sleep to because I'm obsessed. But anyway, so like you can see how they grow. You know what I'm saying? Like you can actually see in like their posture, you can see in the way like their clothing, you can see just them physically, like they, you see them growing. And
it's only in Avatar was 3 seasons, but it took place over 1 year. Right? So it wouldn't be a big growth, like, because in Korra, I'm just gonna do a little spoiler because it ain't that big a deal. Towards the last season, they jumped 3 years.
Okay.
Right? Because the first 2 are like some of the main characters are younger, and then they jump 3 years. So
the kids like
so I'm not gonna tell you who kids, but kids, they get older. So you see them like, so you've been seeing them this small for like these first 3 seasons. 4th season, they jump 3 years, and now they're like young adults, and you like, yo, look at the growth, look how they grew, like stuff like that. So for me in Avatar, it took place over 1 year, but you can subtly see that like everything that they've been through in this 1 year, it grew them, because like people say like trials and tribulations, like And you really say that in church a lot, but like people say trials, you can see that stuff on people's faces.
Oh
Like, you
yeah,
can
and they're
see
in their body
in their body
language.
language, like you can see.
I mean, I'm
yeah.
sure that the people that you haven't seen like now, the
Mhm.
people you haven't seen for this whole year, I'm
Probably
sure they're
look way
gonna look
different.
different. They might look
Mhm.
a little more raggedy, and they might look,
Mhm.
better because some people done came up, but some
Because
people
think
done
about
fell
it.
off.
Think about Aang in the first like episode. He was like
He was
so like
goofy.
goofy and bubbly and like all
Mhm.
happy. By the time we get to the finale, and he
The
looking like
last episode, he
the
all
last
built
episode,
and
he all like he looked like Monk Gyatso, like in the little thing with the little thing,
mhm.
and he's like way more mellow now. He's just like, who would have
Relaxed, like he
thought?
calm,
He's
like you
calm
can
now,
see
like
he,
his spirit is
yeah.
like, but you can see the growth in him, like even
Mhm.
through the seasons, you can see he went from being like this really naive like kid, just about having fun, to being like, okay, I ran once. I can't
Mhm.
run. I can't run again. Like, because
Mhm.
essentially the boy was 112. Like, he had to grow up sometime. So like, it's like,
I mean,
come on, sir. Come on.
how did? Never mind. That's a whole different topic. That's a
I'm
topic for later.
dead. I need you to say it. I need to know.
So yeah. So who was your favorite character?
Okay, so I never really thought about that because I enjoy it as a whole.
Mm-hmm. Me too.
I
But
enjoy
if
it
you
as a
had to choose
whole.
one,
But if I had to choose one, I think I'm gonna choose Zuko.
okay, okay.
I'm gonna choose Zuko because one, I love me some Dante Basco. Okay,
Me too, Rufio.
you feel me, Rufio? Listen, he is one of those actors. I'm gonna digress a little bit, but he's one of those actors that the moment he opens his mouth, I know who it is. Like,
Yep, absolutely.
his voice has not changed since he was like Rufio. Like, has not changed. So it's like the moment he opened his mouth, I was like, yo, that's Dante Basco. Like, I knew it from
Mm-hmm.
jump. So I was like, plus it's like actors that I liked growing up, when I don't see them anymore, I get a little sad because I'm like, they
Yeah.
super talented, bro. Like, cause you already know
Mm-hmm.
how I feel about Michael Keaton, so I'm happy he back in the forefront. Cause I was like, Jack
Mm-hmm.
Frost,
Not the Jack Frost.
forget Batman, but Jack Frost. Y'all ain't gonna respect Jack Frost. So like to see him back is great. So to see Dante Basco back in like even in a voice actor, because let's be honest, voice actors make bread. Depending on what you're doing, they make bread. So
Man,
I'm
I
just
do
happy that
voice
he's
actors too.
still in the game somehow. So like, but I'm gonna say Zuko. But back to your question, I'm gonna say Zuko because I like I like a character to have growth, and not to say that the
Mm-hmm.
other ones didn't, but his was just very interesting because he come from like a broken family. I understand what that's like to grow up thinking things were great and then to blink and realize it's not.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, I ain't never been shunned. My face ain't burned. You know what I'm saying? I ain't getting no acne kai with my daddy and get burnt up in my face. But I understand that aspect of like wanting to please a father that
Yeah.
doesn't really know what he's doing. Like, it's not really a father, right? Like,
Mm-hmm.
he's a fire lord, but he ain't really a daddy, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And you having to realize that like this is as much as I'm going to get from this person. I have to be.
And that's something that a lot of people don't realize, especially not till it's too late,
Mm-hmm.
or their like life is completely different.
It's my little sis call. Let me continue.
But yeah, so I
Who
like
your favorite
Zuko.
character?
My favorite character. Okay, so I have two, and I can't really decide between the two. So my favorite characters. First one is Toph.
Okay.
And I like Toph because she's a little badass. But then she also grew too, and she made metal bending. Like,
Yeah.
of course, you have to love her.
I'm gonna talk about Toph in a minute, but continue with what you was gonna talk about.
Okay, so there's Toph, and I also like that she came from
Like a rich family.
a rich family, and they thought something completely different of her, and then she still found a way to do the stuff that she liked secretly.
Mm-hmm, but still was able to
Yeah, and I
like
fucked with that, and I really
express
like that.
herself in a way.
Because that was something that I never got to do when I was younger, and I it took me till now
Mm-hmm.
to find something that I actually really like doing. and then of course I find the one thing I really like doing, and then I find like 10 other things I like doing. But anyway, so so I really like that she knew who she was, but then she did a lot of growing herself. You know, she was very selfish at first, you know.
Learn how to work with a team, and
yeah.
team turned to her family. Like
she was
learned
so
to
independent. She didn't know how to work with people.
Plus she was like sheltered, right? And people did everything for her, and nobody thought she was capable herself. So like she didn't know how to ask for help, and she didn't know how to let people be there for her, because she always assumed that people were trying to like step over her, or you know. If I was able to pick two, because nobody said I could.
It's our show. We make the rules. What you talking about?
Facts. I think Toph would have been like my second after Zuko. It would have been like Zuko and Toph.
Because you kind of have to have like Toph is just that bitch. Like,
I mean,
she completed it. She completed
the Trinity, like the trio.
It needed Zuko too, but
eventually, she completed them, because you needed a balance to Katara's like mothering. Like you needed a balance, like and because as much as I love Katara, but they put Katara in a bad way though. That girl, because like she had to be their mama. Like that's, you know who I am.
Katara was stressed
in our group setting.
Stressed.
I feel like I'm pretty sure Mark might be watching this episode, and if you are Mark, you know I'm the mama of the group. So, but it's like I understood that to be like, yo, I can't have fun. I gotta watch out. I gotta do this. I gotta do that. I can't have. And to me, that was Katara. Katara was like, bro, I can't have fun. It's not that I'm not fun. It's just that somebody gotta hold this together.
Yeah.
Who gonna do it?
Yeah, and sometimes she couldn't hold it together. So,
plus they was, and people forget they was all kids.
Yeah, they were. You forget that a lot. And then when like the first episode, they were babies. You know what I'm saying? They were babies the first episode.
Because what was it? I think the way that the ages went was, I think like Aang was 12, Katara 14, and
Zuko was 15, I think, because I think that's when they could go out. And
I think Zuko was 16. Either 15 or
Sokka,
16. Sokka was like 15. I think. Yeah, Sokka was 15. And I think Zuko was like 16. And Toph might have been like 13. Like right in the middle of like something like that, like right in the middle. But they was all kids. Like kids.
Babies. Like, they were babies. Because you know, like kids, like young kids, they'd be like, yeah, I'm an adult. I'm grown. Even when you like 21, you like, oh, I'm grown. I can drink. I'm grown. You ain't grown.
You ain't grown. No.
So
do you actually get grown?
And I'm
like,
not saying
what it is.
Yeah, like, I'm not saying that from a I'm older than you type of thing. Like you ain't grown, bro. You ain't grown.
I be trying to explain it to people. I'll be like, listen, I'm not saying that you don't have thoughts and feelings and you can't think on your own and you don't have your own. But you're not grown. Like you don't know what grown is until you actually hit it. Like you're not grown. I sometimes and then you don't want to be grown. There.
You do not want to be there. Like when you grown, like
I be trying to tell people. I be trying to tell people like, relax. This stuff ain't this stuff ain't fun. Like it's not fun at all. But who's your second favorite?
Second favorite is Azula.
Okay. I'm gonna put that picture up. I'm gonna put that picture of you as Azula.
Oh, me as Azula. Okay. So that's me as Azula, guys.
Yeah. She right there in the middle somewhere. Look, whatever side it is. Yeah. Look at her.
That's me. Yeah. But anyway, so Azula is amazing. Like, but this is the thing about Azula, right? I feel like, well, I mean, she is misunderstood. But she kind of like, she had like a really kind of fucked up like daddy, and that was her hero. You know what I'm saying?
And her she grandfather. She didn't have her mother, right? That makes a big difference. That's what I was gonna say next. Like, but that was the thing. She had her mother for a minute. She was just kind of a bitch, like Azula was. So, and because her father and grandfather did not, I don't want to say respect because they never really go into their relationship, but it didn't seem like from the outside looking in, it did not seem like there was very much respect for the mom. Well, remember she got banished.
or something. We don't know.
No. She got banished. They showed it in the episode. She got banished to protect Zuko, because remember Zuko spoke out against, like, at the meeting. That's how he went through the Agni Kai and got the thing over his face or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I think, like, Ozai wanted to get rid of Zuko. Like, he embarrassed me in front of these people, all that kind of stuff. So she was like, no, take it out on me. Like, she sacrificed herself for Zuko. So, and Zuko was about what, 2.5, 3 years older than Azula. So by the time, and Zuko was young when she got banished. So Azula was even younger. She didn't get
banished though, because at the end of the show, he asked what happened to his mom.
She got banished.
You don't know what happened to his mom.
No. There's a comic that came out. She got banished. I didn't read the whole comic, but Ozai banished her because she wanted to protect. This is the only way she could protect Zuko.
See, I'm going straight off the show.
No. I know you're talking about but I didn't read the comic because, money tight. You gotta buy comics and stuff. And so, but she ended up getting banished for Zuko. Like why at the end he was like,
sorry.
No, you good. That's why at the end he was like, okay, where's my mother? Because throughout the series we thought she was dead.
Right.
We thought she was dead. So when he said that, everybody was like, wait a second, and then they came out with a comic to explain.
Okay. See, I don't like that. I want it to be like, no, I'm lying. I need to know.
See, so exactly.
Anyway, I was about to lie to y'all. I was about to lie, and I was not telling the truth at all. Anyway, so
that is so funny.
Yeah, but I love Azula. Like, she had a crazy ass daddy who didn't respect her mom for real. Grandfather was the same way. That's her hero. Her little brother, she felt like he was weak because they viewed the mother as weak, and Zuko was more like his mother. So she felt like he was weak.
But see, I think we like Zuko and Azula for the exact same reasons, because they have a great character arc. Like, his went up, hers went down, but still, they both have very interesting and compelling character arcs.
But let's get something straight here. Okay, and this is probably gonna be kind of controversial. Azula was tapping that ass. Azula was beating him.
Oh, that ain't controversial. That's facts. That's
beating him.
But they said she was a prodigy. They said she was a prodigy.
Yeah,
at a young age. They said she was a prodigy at a young age. Yeah,
because she, like, if she hadn't gone, had her little thing that was going on where she started cutting her hair. I feel it on the cutting her hair though. I'm not even gonna lie. But if she hadn't done all that, it would have been a wrap for Team Avatar, a complete wrap.
But listen, all things work out the way that they're supposed to, because her actions led to that. Her actions led to that. It led to her friends, and I'm putting that up because May and Ty Lee I felt like they were hostages as friends, because, like,
most of the people around her were basically hostages, right? So but think about it, Zuko and Zuko's mom were hostages to the Fire Lord.
So I feel like once they betrayed her. And that scene, that's one of my favorite scenes of Avatar, is when she's like, why, May? You know what the consequence is. She was like, you miscalculated. I love Zuko more than I fear you. So you should have feared me more. And they about to go at it, and the entire league just come in like, boop, 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 boop. I was like, yeah. Like, whenever I watch reactions of people reacting to Avatar, and they watch that scene, everybody flips their lid. Like, everybody go crazy because you don't see it coming. And then Azula just be on the floor drooling, like, get them out of my sight. Like, she be like paralyzed. I be like this. That's when her descent happened right there. She was like, I can't trust nobody. She was firing Dai Li. She was getting rid of everybody. She was seeing images of her mother because she was just like, because I think it triggered something in her, like, they left. Is it why my mom left? Like, all, you know what I mean? All because
there was a lot going on in her head.
I don't think Ozai even told them what happened to her. I think she just left, and then she was never to be seen again. Hey, I was so mad about the end. Why I liked Avatar animation was because you never saw Ozai's face until like I think the last book that they didn't show his face. They show his face immediately in the movie. I was like, we never saw his face in the beginning. He
They
was like
had to pay
this.
the actor for something.
He was like, this is a menacing character that you do not get to see his face, but you get to hear his voice.
Which
And
was
to
scary.
me, right. And to me, that was great. But the movie was like, no. You're gonna see his face off rip. And nothing's gonna happen because of it. Like I was just so mad.
Maybe we should title this like the movie versus the TV show, because it's a lot of comparisons here, and we're not really talking about the show. But okay, let's go back to the show because let's just end this with the movie was terrible. Okay, so the show.
Yeah, the show was.
So
the movie
book one was Water, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So book one, yeah, because that's when he came out the water. So I thought that I wasn't sure if I was going to enjoy it, to be honest with you, because I felt like you said, the first episode looked very cheap. Mm-hmm. You know, so I didn't think I was going to enjoy it, but once I got to the second episode, I was like, okay, I'm intrigued now. You know, they've shown Iroh and they've shown Zuko, and I'm intrigued. You know what I'm saying? I think I like Zuko's evilness, and I like Iroh because he's funny. So I was intrigued by the second episode. So I didn't enjoy the water saga as much as everything else.
I mean, it's the first. It's like,
yeah,
you know,
yeah.
You kind of there are episodes in the first season that like I like. That's like that, you know, that kind of hit. But then, as anything, I want the seasons to get better, and essentially they did. They got better as like they kept going. Mm-hmm. Because what was that? Because
what's your favorite episode
from what, like, of all time?
Of any season?
Okay, well, I don't know. That's hard because,
or one that you like a lot. It don't have to be a favorite, I guess. I have a favorite, but that's because I'm a dork and I know this.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm gonna give you. I'll give you one from each season.
Okay,
how about that? Because I mean, there's more than one in the seasons, but I'll give you like one from each. So in the first season,
I can do the same thing.
In the first season, I like the waterbending master. I like that one because that's the one where I feel like Katara was in her bag, right? She was like, you not gonna teach me because I'm a girl. Mm-hmm. She was like, well, if you man enough to fight me, I'll be outside. I was like, because we was getting towards the end of the season, and you could see her growth because throughout the season you've seen her, like, she took a waterbending scroll. She kept on, you know, she was trying to teach herself and Aang how to waterbend, and it culminated into that episode where like she kind of became a master essentially in that episode by fighting the master, then like was able to. So like that's one of my favorite episodes in the first season.
Okay.
In the second season, I'm gonna have to go with the Blind Bandit because,
of course, because it's tough.
Because her intro into the series,
badass,
hands down, might be one of the best intros of any character across any board of anything.
Badass.
Like her intro was solid as a rock.
That's how you build a charder. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
That's how you introduce a character. Because I feel like
strong.
Yeah, I feel like people don't introduce characters. You introduce characters and be like, you should like them on film. No, you didn't introduce them.
You gotta give me a reason. And you gave me a reason with Toph.
Exactly.
Like off bat,
like you was like, yo, is she? Because whenever I watch reactions, they be like, is she actually? Because they call her the Blind Bandit, and people be like, is she actually blind? I'd be like, yeah. So people flip out, and Nickelodeon had a blind character. They make blind jokes throughout this series about her.
Yes, so good.
Blind jokes, which I hope people know that, like, I'm pretty sure blind people, deaf people make jokes. And it's not like in any harm. It's more so like it's just like a
like
jest or a joke. Like, you know what I mean?
Jokes about everything. So.
Exactly. And I'm pretty sure they do. So it's like, so the fact that they were throwing that in, plus it was just like, she was just like they were trying to help her. She was like, they're mine. She was knocking them all back. I love it. And the last season, I always have to say I'm going to choose. Oh, it's hard. The last season hard.
Yeah, last season's hard.
It's like two of them that are like, well,
okay, which two?
Technically three, but it's a part two. So the first one that I like is the Puppet Master. That's the one. That's the one where Katara learns how to. Dang, it's four of them.
Oh,
that's the one where Katara learns how to.
She learns how to blood bend.
Blood bends, and she didn't want to. That episode was like.
That was good as hell.
Sickening.
That was a scary episode.
It was, because Hama was no joke.
No.
Hama was no joke. But that was a sickening episode because up until this point, you was just like, oh, water bending and, you know, you pull water. But she was like, anything that got water, you can pull it out of. She was pulling it out of the trees, out of the plants, she was sucking everything. And then you manipulate, because you know, I ain't Nickelodeon. My brain ain't Nickelodeon. I'm a grown adult watching this, thinking to myself like, yo, we about 80% water.
Mm-hmm.
She can like drown you from the inside. We can get dark with this stuff if you really like. If you think about even firebending, like what was that? Zuko was talking about how he uses his internal flame to keep his body temperature warm when he was like under ice or whatever. So essentially, you could probably light somebody on fire from the inside by using it. Like, but we're not. But this is a darker. This is
the remix.
This is the remix. The remix. So, but I like the Puppet Master. I also like Sokka's master because it gave Sokka a shine, because he didn't really. Sokka was like, that was the episode where I feel like they put some respect on Sokka's name.
They did. They absolutely did.
Put some.
They did right by every single character in that show. Even the cabbage guy.
Listen, my cabbages. That's why you gotta watch Korra, because it's so good. But I love that I love that they finally, by him removing himself from the group, they saw his worth. Yes. Right? Because not only am I funny and I do all this, but I plan this stuff. I'm like, he's literally like the mastermind. Mm-hmm. And people weren't putting no respect on his name. They put some on there.
They kept talking about the boomerang.
You feel me? It didn't do
like my video.
Yes, you were like, I was, listen, when you were like, oh, I was like, yo, don't come and talk like that, yo.
Wait, did you see the whole thing?
I went on TikTok. I went on TikTok and watched the whole thing. And then you were like,
oh, that's right, because you commented. Okay.
I did. You're like, wait, who am I? And then you just like, you walked away, you're like, I'm my mother. I was like, yo, that was funny. I was like, that's messed up. But it was really good though. And I'm gonna have to pick, because I forgot Sokka's master was in that episode. The last one I'm gonna pick, because I'm not gonna pick the 4-part finale, because that's just amazing.
That's what I would pick, but
I know, but I'm not gonna pick that because it's just amazing. But I'm going to pick the boiling rock part 1 and 2, because remember, that's the episode where what's his name? Sokka went to go find his father. Like, his father got not kidnapped, but his father got locked up in a prison, and Zuko went with him.
Oh, when they went into the prison they were trying to get Suki and.
Well, first they were trying to get the father out, but he found out that Suki was there too.
Oh, that's right. They went there to see if his father was there. He wasn't there, but Suki was.
Yeah, and that's the episode. And that's the episode where
I was watching that yesterday.
And that's the episode where Man Tai Lee break from Azula. But also the fight was great, because like, this is right after the fire bending master. So Zuko like learned a whole new way to, like, he was standing toe to toe with Azula. Like, you was like, and then like Sokka was coming in to help, and then Suki was fighting Ty Lee, and she was in, like, it was just great. Everybody was in a bag. It was just so good.
Yeah, I love how in a bag they were at the end of the show. Like, everybody person, good and bad except was in a bag. Maybe Azula.
Yeah,
but I mean,
she lost her. She was in her bag the whole time.
I'm about to say she kept a bag. So
she had enough. Her bag is full. Okay,
her bag was pretty.
Bag is full. But those are some of the episodes where if I see a new reactor reacting to it, depending on how far they are in the season, I'm like, I gotta see how they feel about this. I just gotta see, because it's like some of my favorites.
My favorite episode, I guess I'll do books like you did. So in the first book, I would say my favorite episode is actually the one after yours.
Okay.
That was a two-parter, wasn't it?
What, the Boiling Rock?
No, the first episode, the first book, the water book, the one with Paku.
Oh, well, the last one it's like the Siege of the North, part 1 and part 2. So those are the.
I like the second one. That might be the same episode. I think yours was the first.
Mine is like, yeah, it's like the Waterbending Masters, and then the Siege part 1, part 2.
Okay, so I liked part 2.
Okay.
I liked part 2.
Why?
So in that episode, that's where Aang went into the Avatar state, and he was the big like the big Gila monster thing.
He was like that spirit.
Yeah. So that's that episode. So then book 2, which is Earth, I believe. My favorite episode in that is the one where he sees King Bumi. It's like at the beginning. It might be like the second or third episode.
Return to Omashu.
Yeah, I think that's when they went to Omashu.
I like that one. He didn't know it was Bumi. I like that episode.
He didn't know it was Bumi, and he had to figure it out. And Bumi was giving him tests to remind him of who he was, but then also like test him, you know, it as an avatar. So I really like that. But he was also testing him as a person, so I really like that too. And then at the end, they still went down the little roller coaster.
Yeah, he was like, now I have a challenge for you, and they went down and he was like, my cabbages.
Every time they went to Omashu,
listen here,
made my heart feel so good.
Listen
I
here,
I hate cabbage, yo. I hate cabbage.
I don't eat cabbage neither, so
I hate cabbage.
So destroy his cabbage works all day, every day.
I'll be like, good, you ain't need soda.
Exactly.
But so in that episode, actually, you know what? I'm not going to do that because I'm actually going to cosplay that soon. So I'm not even going to say.
That's
so anyway. But okay. So yeah, that's my favorite episode because besides the other stuff, there's one part that I laugh at hysterically like I've never heard it.
Can I guess?
Every single time.
Can I guess what it is?
Yes.
Okay, let me see. Is it the part when they're at the table and he makes that pun